Today morning, very early, I wake up because I have the idea to make a survey. I don't know if it will work. Then you are going to have a QR code, and I will ask you to answer the survey using the QR code with your phones. Facebook. The most of the people that answer, 80% are using. 2, they use in the past, but they no longer use. And then 1 has never had Facebook. Let's see the following one. WhatsApp. 86% is using WhatsApp. 1 has never used, and somebody dropped. What is the problem? It's okay? Instagram. Half of the people here use. 40% never had, and 1 used in the past but no longer. Tinder. This is that's why I make anonymous, because when I ask to raise their hand, I know that it's not true. Then 1 on 3 says that they use in the past but not longer now. Then 9 never use, and 1 is currently used. Spotify. Here 9. This is nice. 60% are currently used. 3 they use in the past, and 3 never use. I will iterate because probably some of you have already put news. Twitter. A quarter of the person here use in the past, but they no longer anymore, and only 4 Twitter they drop Twitter, and half has never used. Netflix, 60% currently use. And here I think that there was the Tesla. Where is my Tesla? Okay, iWatch. 2 currently use. 1 is me. Don't have and don't want to have, 80%, and 2 don't have but would like to have. And the Tesla do not have, don't want to have, half, and half they want to have. Okay, well, let me go back to the social network. Here in Facebook, they are currently used. Okay. Why are you using Facebook? Can somebody tell me why are you using Facebook? Yes? Yes?
Not so much for like posting things, but to stay in contact with people that live far away, that you've met on exchanges in international classes, things like that, and that don't have the WhatsApp or whatever.
Okay. Also for events. Then Facebook is basically, may I wrote? No.
Yeah. I give you.
Okay. Then Facebook.
I'm searching for it.
Yes, no, I keep in my mind. What about WhatsApp? 90% of the people are using WhatsApp.
You can use it wherever around the world without spending more fares because you have internet.
Okay, then, and why this is one of the things that is useful. The WhatsApp is really cheap to use. No, it's free. It's free even when in another way we have to pay a lot. And what else?
It's easy to set up an account.
It's easy to set an account. What else?
You can make groups, so it's easier to communicate with a lot of
you can make groups. Then you can communicate it. You see, we have two things. We are looking at what color I will choose. I can tell you the red. The only professor can use red. You can use black and probably green if you are wise. Then the characteristic. One, I will make it 2 columns. One is communication, and the other is that it's cheap. The other it is easy to use. Yes. It's cheap, it's easy to use. I put the characteristics together, not for each of one. And then Instagram. Who is using Instagram? Why?
I use it for work.
For work?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of like free of charge if you don't sponsorize it. Marketing.
Okay. Oh, yes, thank you. And this is also free of charge? Free of charge and?
I think it's social media which differ from, for example, Facebook, because it's less full of bullshit. I mean, in the sense that it's really based on pictures and videos, so it's more visual and you can see where people is in the world, what they do, but in a more, I don't know, nice way.
Reliable way, you will say. Okay, this is more reliable. Yes?
In general, visual communication is increasing. So, I mean, I agree with mine.
Visual communication. Okay, something else. And the one that they are not longer used, Facebook, why they drop? The one that they drop, could somebody tell me? No, they want to remain anonymous. Well, Spotify. Why you are using it? Why you are using it? Yes?
Because there are some already pre-made playlists.
Uh-huh.
And they're nice when you want to have like dinner party or I don't know.
Good stuff. Good and new. What else? Yes. She understands. Yes.
It's fast if you have a wish. If you want to hear a song, then in most of the cases you find a song.
Okay.
Not everything, but
How can I put that? What you say?
availability.
Availability. Nice. Of product.
And online.
And online. What else? Yes, I promise you. Yes.
It's convenient. You can download playlists and then you can listen to it offline.
Multiple devices.
Yes, convenience. Yes?
Usually that's pretty decent recommendations. So if you listen to something, it will show you new songs and music that's similar to you that you might enjoy as well.
You generating content recommendation. Okay? You generating content. What else? Well, let's see the other one, because if not, we are going to make a course about social media. Twitter, well, Twitter, something different that we have already talked. Which is the main characteristic of Twitter?
You write. Oh, sorry. You write.
You write and you have a big audience. Ask Trump about that. Netflix. When you decided to use Netflix? And why? There are 12 people that they are using Netflix. No, please. Oh, yes, Rodolfo.
No, I will not tell yet. Because if you look at the typical schedule of typical TV, you go to Netflix.
Then it's convenience. You, Yes, you use whenever you want.
Content.
Yes, it is on demand.
Yeah, but not only on demand, that's also the content they have.
This good content.
Wouldn't say good, say better than many others.
Good content.
Strong word.
That large choice. Okay? Okay. Yes?
Also, you can watch it in different languages.
Mhm.
If you want to practice, you can and some
Okay.
Miriam, I think we need to put one more point. This is a socializing point. If we are talking about Netflix and if we are talking about music and films, for example, it's also important to share and to talk about it.
Then we put.
Yeah, you see, you watch, you do things, and then you share. And you
Yeah.
have something to talk about when you're abroad.
Yeah.
share content, share point of view. Okay. Let me go to the last one because more or less the others are the same. But let me go to I watch. Yes.
You don't need a real watch.
Yes.
In general, all these tools are almost free. You can download it on your wherever you want on computer or mobile for free or cheap cost. It's
Okay.
free and cheap, the use, but also the download is free. So
Okay.
if I would
Free of charge, I put.
okay.
Okay? And no, thank you. Let me talk about the iWatch. The one that say that they don't have and they don't want to have one. Why?
Because you already usually have a cell phone and a computer, and I don't think you need one more thing that like keeps you in contact with people because you lose your like threat to reality.
Okay. Then here is a kind of barrier. Do not want to change what I have. What else? What else? Yes?
I don't want to be available all the time. I just want to put my phone away and then not answer.
Okay.
You're afraid anytime.
Be free, not surveyed. Okay.
Wishful thinking.
Okay. And what about the Tesla? The one that say that they don't want to have.
I like driving.
You like driving, but you drive also with Tesla. It's not going alone.
Yeah, but it drives by itself, right?
No, fortunately not.
No, not yet. Not yet. No, not yet.
Okay, sorry.
The only thing that you have to fight broom, broom, because no noise, but well, the one who say no, what else? What else?
I would say that they have not reached a high level of engineering yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quality. That is fine.
Okay. I know here it is barrier, lack of quality. What else? What is the big problem of Tesla and electric cars in general?
Reach.
Yes.
Also, I mean, the production of electricity and disposal then of when you have to
Recharge.
when you like old batteries, you have to
Yes.
dispose them. I don't know if it's so much sustainable.
There's a lot of discussion on pushing towards electric cars because they don't understand what's the problem with the rest of the world.
The reach.
It's called removing the problem. Pushing the problem somewhere else.
Well, if we have a look to all the things we have said, here you have two different things. This thing is communication, visual recommendation, user-generating content, share. This is innovation that they are done in order to be in contact with the other. But you know, there's not only one. It's not that we were waiting the 21st century to do that. The fax was the same. In the beginning, nobody wanted to buy a fax. What for? Nobody has a fax to receive my fax. Then it is things that could slow down innovation. You need a number of people to have the same in order to make the decision. Say, well, I will buy. Everybody's having that. I will buy. But if it is not, and we are going to see that we call that the need of critical mass. And the need of can chill an innovation. And this is what we call internal externalities in the innovation network. And here we have things that belongs to the product, that they are free of charge, that they are good, that they have new start, and these are the things that characterize innovation that sometimes are with the content. For instance, in the beginning, nobody wants to buy a PC. It's not because the PC were expensive, that were expensive, but it was not only so. There were not enough software to use them. Why are you know, when I was young, last century, a computer was about 5,000 Swiss franc a PC IBM, isn't it, Rodolfo? 5,000 euros a PC, and then yes, the program were or even expensive or very few. Then you don't buy. You see here is when you have a product and the product needs some complements. It's the same case with the Tesla. You can have a Tesla, but then you have not enough station in order to plug. And then that makes you, even if you have the money, to say, well, but if I have no electricity power, if the battery is flat, what I am going to do? Then these two things that they are external, which is having enough people having the same thing in order to think that it's useful for you to have it, or internal is having something but knowing that you need another thing. You will not buy a DVD in the time, a DVD machine, a recorder or a reproductor if you don't have enough DVD to watch. You see, this is what we call externalities. Well, given that, probably I can begin the presentation. Well, we are going to see that more or less all these characteristics we can grasp using some mathematics. That I am not saying that it's very nice, but at least it's useful. Then what is innovation diffusion of model? Innovation diffusion of models is a series of mathematical models that try to forecast or to show the diffusion of technology. The idea is that if I know what had happened in the past, I can forecast what will pass in the future. Using that, you can, if you have this idea, you can have an idea of the final market size, and you can make some assumption for new product, and we will show you. Then the most important, this is the thing that I will try to talk this morning, is about the element in innovation and imitation. I will show some examples based of innovation in tourism sector, and then if I have time, I will talk about how the innovation or the diffusion model of Web 1N could help me in order to have an idea how the same sector with adopted Web 2.0. Well, then there are two main important things when you are studying innovation. One is timing. When the market will be mature. When the market will be in the upper peak, the peak of innovation, and then it will slowly go down, or how fast it will go down, and then which are the driving factors. You see, here we see that there are some driving factors. If I don't have a charge station, probably I will not buy a Tesla, even if I have the money. Even if I like iWatch, I will not buy an iWatch, because I don't want to change my Samsung for an iPhone. See, and this is, we try to grasp how to realize using mathematical models. Well, the timing of adoption was studied by Roger in '62. And the main idea is that innovation follows a normal distribution. This was his idea. Probably you are familiar with that. This axis is time. And he says, well, there is an innovation, and the innovation is symmetric. This is the peak of innovation. This is adopters. How many adopters I have? At this time, I have this number of adopters. They come and they say, well, I will buy a watch, you see? And then Roger says, well, you see, here, the first one I will call innovation. And this will be the 2.5 of the share of the total market. And then he said, well, from here to 13.5, I will call then early adopter, and then early majority, and then late majority, and then laggards. The last 16% was laggards. Okay, do you agree with this point of view? Do you think that we can make it better? What that means if we say that the diffusion of a technology always follows a normal distribution. What would you say?
Maybe sometimes, like for example, for the cars, they are, it's not exactly kind of, or the bicycle, which is more longer in the time, is an innovation that is changed but still is present. So it's not a peak, it's more like started but then it's stable,
okay,
or slightly increasing, maybe, or the market, or this graph is changing for the areas, for example, countries which are developing, then they find an increase, but in other, there is a stable curve or something like that, so it's a bit to establish the graph, to put it based off the country, the economy of the country.
Yes, I will sum up afterwards. It's okay. It's nice. Yes.
I agree up to a certain point, but it's like, even if you take the example of a bicycle, the basic, the machinery is the same, but there have been certain innovations that have been made, and the old ones get dropped after some time. So you had like, in the beginning you had like 2 gear changes, and now you have like up to 36 or something like that.
Yes.
So every time you put in a new innovation in an old model, this peak, this slope is going to.
Yes, this is, yes, you are right. But this account, you are right, because this account is only trying to model one innovation. But each innovation, as you too say, they have life cycles. They have life cycle. Then you have one model, and then you have a new model, and then this is another shape. But Roger don't want to do that. Roger said that he was only one innovation. It's a pity, because I have no example, because I have studied that, but I have no examples of cycles of innovation. But it's true. Yes?
I think I agree with you, but the idea is that in most of products, while we're introducing new things, the number of adopters are increasing over the time, reaching the saturation point and then decline. But normally, I think, brand names, they are trying to offer something of value all the time to the consumers, so they will keep using the new product again and again. And this is the idea of introducing new version of the mobile phone every year, or new version of cars every year, because they want to keep the consumer interested of buying the new things. So in all cases it will follow the same normal distribution, but how long you will keep your saturation point?
Yes, it's the same. It's very good. It's the same idea of the cycles. But the problem, what is interesting to know for people like Apple is in which moment they have to introduce the new cycle. Because if they introduce before, they are spoiling one innovation. Because and that's what is very important to know the peak. Well, but this is no critics, even if it is only one innovation to that. Do you think that innovation that needs a critical mass would have the same shape that innovation that don't need? How they will be before the peak? Yes. You will work a longer time, and then the peak and immediately come down. Yes, that is the problem with Roger, that it's not really strictly symmetric. And then there was the new model. Then there is two drivers. This is what Roger could not say, but there is two drivers. One is external innovation and the other internal innovation. What is external innovation? It means that I buy something because I think it is okay, it's good, I like it, I don't care. And internal is all the other have, I should have that. It is the ich auch, me too. But I cannot say me too, but the me too is have another. May I have a glass of water? Then you have a product of innovation. There are factors. It is the quality of the innovation. There is factor when there is innovation inside the companies. You have the problem of organization and structure. And we have made a study. For instance, the adoption of web, the first web 1.2.0 has a relationship with some other factor. One of those factors was the age of the manager. The age of the manager was one of the factors that make go or no go in the innovation. And when I will not talk, but having an innovation is not finished. It's the first time. It's the first thing, the first step, because then you can have the innovation, but your employees do not like to use. Then there is a problem of transfusion. Then, well, but I will not talk about that today. There are environmental factors. For instance, I will show that in Switzerland innovation is almost slower because they are difficult, different language, different sector, and this makes an heterogeneity in the propensity to adopt. Well, then there is the seminal example. This was one of the first papers made by Mansfield in 2017, where he was studying different train companies when they change from copper to steam. And you see 30 companies take 9 years to go from 20% of a steam machine to 90% of adoption. Three films take 14 years. This is 9, this is 14. And 3 to 4 years for 6 of them. There were 6 of them that were very quickly, and the others take a long time. Why? Well, because they make different profit expectation. Mansfield showed that it has to do also for the size of the film, the age of the steam locomotives. If you have a very good, you are not going to change immediately. The initial liquidity, you see. Then there is this inter-firm variation can be explained by the characteristics of the company. And here you have this is the cumulative adopters during the time, you see. Here you have this one that adopt very quickly, and here you have the one that adopt late and slowly. But then there is a bus model. Bus model, somebody asked to Bus, how can I use the Roger model and explain which is the mixed up in the marketing? It means which is the role of innovation and the role of imitation. And Bus wrote down this differential equation that we are not going to study. You don't need to go away immediately. But the only thing that you have to keep in mind is that P is the coefficient of innovation. It could be from 0 to 1, and it means the propensity to adopt is showing the propensity to adopt because you think that the innovation is good. Because you read in newspaper, that's why we call external. Now we change, but we call external because see in television, magazine, and they say that it's good. And then Q will represent the influence of the others. The other has already, ich auch, me too. If the other have, I will copy them. And M is the final market. The forecast final market. And we are going to see this afternoon, because I have made an Excel file. The innovation is like this. These are the one who adopt for internal influence. It means by Q. And these one are the one who adopt by external influence. I will show examples. Then this is the first work that we have done in our institute. We presented, in 2005 in the International Organization of Experts in Tourism. We analyzed it. At that moment, everybody was buying their domain name registration. And in the beginning, it was kind of war, because in Switzerland, hotels with the name is La Croix Fédérale, Hotel de Lourdes, there are 100. And everybody wants to have hoteldelourdes.ch. And everybody make the reservation of the name because it's very cheap, but they practically don't put the website. Then we study, a friend of mine, our colleague, Thomas Steiner, wrote a spot, and we gather all the names of hotels in Switzerland, the URL, we study at what moment they ask. Then here you have the evolution. Let me tell you something. Do you remember, because I have not said that before, do you remember Roche's model that he was saying that innovation were the first 2.5%, early adopter were this, from this to this, and so far? Well, the students of BAS plug this to the model of BAS I told you, and then innovation following the model of BAS could be between 0.2 to 2.8%. And then early adopter goes from here to here. Then we plug these characteristics that they are fixed for the normal distribution to this one, because now we have, let's say, more degree of freedom to model. And this is the BAS model. As I showed you before, the cumulative distribution would always be an S, something which is close to an S. The more close to an S, the more need of critical mass you need. But we are going to see that this afternoon better. This is the non-cumulative adoption. Then here, if from this one you take the first one, you are going to have this, which looks like a normal distribution. And here you have the kind of adopters. Here you have the first derivative, which means the rate of growth. Here you see the rate of growth is positive. It's always positive. It means that the number of adopters is increasing. But as time goes by, the number of adopters is increasing, but in less. And up to you cross the peak here, the number of adopters begins to be negative. You see, that's why it is going down here. And this is the idea, okay? And in order to know at what moment they go from being positive to being increasing or decreasing in the rate of growth, you have here the inflection point, but enough for today. Here is our study. Here you have the complete distribution of diffusion of hotels, the empirical one. This is, for instance, that the first hotel that has a website was December 95 in Switzerland. Here it means that in December 98, 60 hotels bought their URL. Okay? This is the empirical one. And here is the analysis of buzz. Do you remember that I show you that there is one that is due to imitation and the other due to external influence? You know, the external influence decay during the time, and the one of imitation goes up. If I sum this to this, you are going to have the full one, and we are going to see that this afternoon. Here is the cumulative, you see? The cumulative here is the one that say by internal, and then the red one is by imitation, and this is the observed and the predicted. They are really good. The observed and the predicted, you have to tell that they are really good. The model looks nice, okay? Well, what was the outcome? We study going with the idea, which is not an idea, the evidence that the characteristics of the company can explain the interfering variation. We analyze overall all the hotels in Switzerland. Then we analyze the hotels that were members of Société des Hôteliers, Swiss hotels, Hôtellerie Suisse, really. And you can see here the innovators. From this to this, we have the innovators. This is the overall, where if you talk about only the hotels that they are for Hôtellerie Suisse, you see this is before. Every time, this one are early than this one. Why so? Why do you think is that? Here I have all the hotels. These hotels are included here, but these hotels are members of the Hôtellerie Suisse. What do you think?
Probably in the associations and there are innovation comes first because there is more possibility. You are in a group, and so you are linked to the others, and then innovation comes before.
Yes. This is exactly a part of the story. Given that they were from Hôtellerie Suisse, they were informed, and they really take the opportunity to mon Dieu, they make the decision to make the innovation before. Then there were another things that they were relevant in our study. We realized that large hotels were registered buying their domain early. Then the category was also making a difference. This is, you don't need to be a doctor in computer science to realize that 5-star hotel will make their domain name registration before than all the others. And then affiliated hotel make the innovation quicker than the overall. Okay. Then in order to see which are the drivers, using this equation of buzz, I could be able to grasp which is the level of innovation and which is the level of imitation. And here you have, once you come with this, solving up this differential equation, you can get the parameters, which are P, Q. Once more, P is the parameter of innovation. It means external influence. And as you see, for the bigger it is, the more likelihood to adopt I am. Then here you see, for overall, I have, let's see this time, 24. For affiliated hotel is higher, and for non-affiliated hotel is the lowest at all. It means that the non-affiliated hotels were the less have the lower propensity to adopt because they think that the website was good. And there was a lot of discussion at that time. You were not even born, probably. But they say, well, but it is very expensive, nobody would go to internet, what is that, and so forth. And you see where we are now. And this is the parameter of imitation. As you see, the non-affiliated hotels have the highest parameter of imitation. It means that they do because the others have already done. One of the things that give you an idea which is the importance of innovation, imitation over innovation, is just making this ratio. Imitation over innovation. As you can see, the highest is non-affiliated option. Hotels. Is 1 or 2, and the lowest is affiliated hotels. This gives you an idea which would be the shape of the S. And here you have the three estimation. You see, here it is the non-affiliated, where the peak is the latest one. Here you have the affiliated, where the peak is the earliest one. And here you got all that, of course, they are in the middle. And you see here here is the point, here it's increasing, and then from this point to another it's increasing, but with the less growth and the other way around. Okay, everything is okay? What about auberge? You see, auberge, bed and breakfast. Well, we study also auberge, which is auberge in Switzerland is a restaurant who has 2 or 3 rooms in the upper floor, very tiny hotels, and they are affiliated to another association. Normally, they are affiliated to an association which is Gastro Suisse. Here you have all the hotels, the thing that I showed you before in green, and here you have the diffusion of auberge. You see, it seems that there is not a point who make the difference. Well, this is because this is a special case of bus. When you have things that the red one of auberge, the bus model collapsed to this one, which is a logistic growth. Don't worry. I will tell you. The logistic growth is the case where in the bus model P is 0. It means the propensity to adopt because the innovation was good is 0. Near 0. See? And then they give this, and then once more, if I come back with my all analysis I put here, you see Q, and here you have this Q, with telling that it's very low, even though. And here you have the difference, and of course here the Q over P is infinitive. Then you see there is some difference of innovation. We are going to see this afternoon. We are going to play with that. Well, then let's talk about the timing. This is affiliated plus not affiliated hotels. This is our affiliated hotels, and this is our auberge. You see, when we make the study, it was about 2004. The lane majority has not even been reached, and all the things that you are here are forecast. We make the forecast. It's difficult to read this table. Then Roland Sheikh has the wonderful idea to do like this. And here you have in time, and here you see hotels. This is innovators, this is early adopter, this is our early majority, this is late majority, and this is laggard. And look, this is at the time, okay, 96. For instance, here, the early adopter for hotels go from 96, somewhere in 1 month, to some months of 98, okay? Look, the same, but for auberge. You see, early adopters, innovators, they are none, because P is 0. And then you have early adopter who takes all this time, from 96 2001. Here you have early majority, you have here late majority, and laggards we forget. We forecast, not forget, we forecast. Well, okay. This is one story. We talk about innovation. What time it is? ¿Y cuánto tiempo? Un quarto d'ora, okay. Adesso, no. Now I am going to talk of the second part, and the second part is, you see, we are talking about aggregated phenomena. We take the sum of the hotels that have adopted in the one moment, and we make a model. And the model, we talk about the chilling effect, but the critical mass, you see, we talk about critical mass with examples. We will not adopt something, it is for communicated if you have not enough people to communicate with. And then you have also externalities. You will not buy Netflix if it is not on demand, if you don't have good content, or at least you can choose what you want, which is the difference from normal television. And here you have some example of S, depending on the need of critical mass. And as I told you, these parameters tells a lot about the need of critical mass. And the bigger is Q over P, the most close of an S is the cumulative shape. When P over Q is very low, you will have like this, like exponential equation, curve. But we are going to play this afternoon with that. Well, then, as I tell you, in the bus model, the one of the major assumptions is that each individual has the same propensity to adopt to all the others, individually speaking. But really, this is a very heroic assumption. Then there was Professor Ben-Maor, who was trying to build another model, thinking that. Let me show you this. Don't take care of this curve. But probably the thing is like this. In the number of hotels, there are some of them. This is time. You see, time of adoption. There are somebody that they are like, look. You know, if something is new, I go and I will be the first to have. Then they are this kind of guy. Another hotel, you could have this one who is, you know, middle-aged. No, wait and see. We are not sure. Let's wait. And he will adopt much later. And then you have here a kind of fireman. He will come as soon as I can, as soon as he can. But it not depends all the time of him. Then for each date, you sum up how many people were there, and you have the equivalent of the bus model. We use that on the bus model. And you know, when you're working a lot with bus model, which is an error, which is something that I do in my life, it's sometimes difficult to adjust. Sometimes it's difficult to find this bloody P, Q, and M. Because the things are not really symmetric, but the bus are supposed that they are symmetric. And you play with the properties of the differential equation that I am not a specialist, but Rodolfo is. And sometimes it's difficult. Then you can forget about the equation. But you see, I put the equation because this equation has an alpha. And this alpha is telling you how heterogeneous is the population that is adopting. And I will show you using, for memory, B is P plus Q, and beta is Q over P. The same parameters as bus. Bus is just a special case of this formula. Bus is 1, alpha is 1. When alpha is 1, this model collapses to be bus. And here this is a paper that we wrote about adoption of social network in mobile phones. And you see, this is different situation, this different analysis. This is the BAS model, you see, that looks close to BAS. If you look France, which the value of alpha is close to 1, you see very nice curve like this, very symmetric, and so on. Then, when you look to US, here you have, where is you? Here. Here, you see, it's not really symmetric. You see the point? And here you have UK, UK, and here you have Germany. Germany, which is here. France is here, Germany is here. You know, Germany takes a lot of time. They need a lot of, and it was Claudia who told me that probably it's because social network people were thinking about their privacy and they don't want to share. Okay.
I think it's right. Maybe let me just share I met a friend, and she's like on social networks. She's right on Facebook. She's right on WhatsApp. She's only got Telegram. She says, I don't want to spend so much time on all of this.
Oh yes, you see.
Because you don't have a big tradition of wasting time at the bar. We have. So we've been very fast.
Yeah.
Well, this is all the data that we treated. You see, we have destination management organization in Switzerland. We treated demios in Austria, in Germany, restaurant in Switzerland. I am talking all the same. I am talking about adopting the domain name registration. Okay. And here is really not the domain registration, it's having the website. And then have restaurant, cable cars, hotel chain, tour operators. We have that of Malaysian hotels, non-affiliated hotel in Switzerland, affiliated to Hotellerie Suisse, general hotels, auberge, and travel agent in Switzerland. These are the data. This is, sometimes we know the market size, sometimes no. These are the source where we take it. And this is the age of the weight of the URL, the website, really in days, and the observed penetration, given that we have the number. Well, then we make the analysis, and of course I will leave you to read that tonight when you cannot sleep. Interesting is to know that, for instance, cable cars in Switzerland seems to adopt only by imitation, not by innovation. The same thing we have already seen auberge, gas house in Switzerland. And what is interesting is to see the level of heterogeneity. The lower is the level of alpha, the more heterogeneous is the population. And as you can see, and the highest is the highest homogeneity. Look here. Here, if my calculus is good, I have 90 billions, the value of alpha. It's really high. This is Utrecht in Austria, the MEOS. It seems that there is a reason. In Austria, when they have to do that, they have money that come from the government. And they do only at the same time. That's why there was very homogeneous. It's an external factor. And then you have here restaurant in Switzerland. They are very homogeneous, but if you are going to see that only 16% of the restaurant, the final market, you see the final market is 9%. Only 9% of the restaurant have a website, a property website. Then they can go very quickly, but the level of market is miserable. Well, then we make some analysis, and let me show you. We compare, yes, what I am talking about. These are the one who has low heterogeneity, is destination management, restaurant, hotels, the hotels in Switzerland, tour operators in Europe, and destination management organization. They are close to BAS. It means that the people have the propensity to adopt in the beginning. This is what was supposed. Not only that it's homogeneous, but they are in the beginning. And then you have here the one that they have the highest level of heterogeneity. Besides Malaysian Hotel and Change, all the others are in Swiss. Are cable car in Swiss, travel agents in Swiss, destination management organization, which is really low, and non-affiliated hotel in Switzerland. Well, if you can compare, here it is the data of Maor and Lee, the other estimated alpha. You can have a look. But tetracycline, you know, the heterogeneity was really high, and this has to do with Switzerland also. I can talk about that. And then here we make the composition in principal components, and you can see here this is showing you the heterogeneity and is related with the P, the value of innovation. And this is telling you the penetration market. Here it could be very nice, but the penetration market is really low. The one who has the highest homogeneity and the highest penetration, these are DMO in Austria, and you know the one that they are here, they all belong to Switzerland. It means that they have very high heterogeneity, but the level of penetration is high. Well, there is some answer. Switzerland is a multiple lingual country, different region, different story, a lot of DMO, and these are the results.
Sir, can I just ask something?
Yes,
Like
please.
Austria, they're doing fine in innovations. What causes that?
I beg your pardon?
I think you mentioned like Austria is doing fine in innovation adoptions. What's causing that?
If the government give the money in the block and say, well, okay, they are very supportive to the tourism, which is not the case in Switzerland. And then they say, here is the money, you go, everybody, you set your website. It's one go. No, yeah. Well, this is interesting. Why is interesting to have this level of heterogeneity? Because if you have a product which is new, and you have no idea. The thing that they always ask the people in the industry is how long will take the takeoff. It means the moment where I go from the innovators to the early adopters, because at that moment the innovation begins. They are innovation that never happened. For instance, MMS, you know, the multimedia message by phone, they drop, and you were probably young, but in 2007, people pay billions of dollars for having this spectrum. And never works because the Facebook, nobody see Facebook arrive. Then sending any kind of media for free. This was a problem. Then they target young people because they cannot go to Facebook, but they can send a multimedia message, but it never take off. And all the companies are canceling this service. Then once more, if you have one innovation and you are going to do another who is close to that, you can make the hypothesis that the heterogeneity of this country is always high, and you know how to attack, which kind of message you can do from the marketing point of view, that if it is homogeneous. Then could be some insight, could give you some insight. Well, this is the future tourism sector. Okay, then I think that I will stop here.